Amanda here from Create Your Future. Guys, I've got Andrea joining me. Hey, Andrea.
Hi, guys. Hello, Amanda.
Hi. Andrea's a coach on the team, and she's having a sale right now. So she is going to be able to help you find your blocks. Give you a list of intentions and an action plan to manifest anything quickly. And she's got an exciting story from one of her clients, a success story that they've manifested their SP, right? And you can manifest anything quickly and even instantly. Manifestation is instant. We slow it down. So, once you find out what you're doing to block yourself and you get yourself out of the way, things start to come so quickly. Just before we dive into it, guys, I do lives on YouTube. If you would like me to answer your question, definitely subscribe and hit the notification button so you're emailed when I do a YouTube live. And the best part is I answer your questions for free. So definitely hop on. If you are a member of the channel, I'll give priority to your question because that's what you get with membership status. Also, as well, guys, remember, answering questions doesn't always replace coaching. We need to know what you're thinking to create the reality that you have. So it's important, if you do ask me a question on those lives, that you give me a lot of what you're thinking and what's going on and what you see in your 3D reality so I can give you a good answer back, right? You create your thoughts with your reality, and no two people create a third party the same way. Now we all love more free stuff, so we do have a free course. Check out the link in the description. It is how to identify your blocks to manifest anything fast. Is going to help you sort out your blocks. Like, for instance, questioning why you're not getting what you want, why your SP isn't calling you. That's a block. You need to be having your thoughts in line with that. So that course is going to help you build your mental diet completely free. I created it. And I think that's everything on my list. So let's dive into it. I have to tell them of all the free stuff and sales. I mean, I know they manifested it because we're doing it, right? So
exactly. Yes. Yes. Hi, guys. I really would like to share a story with you, which I find it very inspiring. And it's a success story about an SP. And I had permission from my client to share this with you guys. I want to talk about it, how important it is to understand that when you are familiar with manifesting, when you are familiar with your mental diet and you understand the concept of everyone is you pushed out. But if you just know it intellectually, it doesn't mean it's going to give you the outcome what you wish for. Knowing it and implementing it, it's two different story. Most of my clients, what I have in my coaching history, many of them, they do the same mistake. They absolutely understand the concept, but they are not implementing them in their everyday life. And as just Amanda said, they are always questioning why am I not manifesting? If I know what I'm talking about, but I still don't manifest. Yes, you do know what you are talking about, but you are not implementing it in your life, which it's there it goes in your block, and you are asking why not. So exactly that's what happened with my client. And then she started that conversation, and I just told her, okay, so just tell me what is your inner conversation with yourself and your SP or whoever is in the story when you think of them. And then in the beginning, she was like thinking, and I said, no, don't think about it too much. Just let it go and start talking about it. When you talk with your friends, when you talk with your mom, because she was sharing her story with friends and mom and everyone else. And I said, when you talk with yourself, tell me your conversation out loud and your inner conversation. And she, all of a sudden, she started telling me that I was telling everybody that I didn't deserve this breakup, that I did everything in this relationship what I supposed to do. My mom was telling me that I am amazing, that I supposed to contact him. I didn't do anything wrong. I am absolutely perfect. I should just call him and tell him that I deserve better. And you know, all kind of story what every single one of us has a different um, story behind and this different perspective, and she was just getting everyone else's perspective of the situation but not her. So I was listening for this for about almost an hour patiently, and then I asked her, please tell me, do you see that what you are doing, you are constantly manifesting the state that you are not together? That's exactly what you are doing. Constantly repeating and looking for validation that you didn't do anything wrong, and you are right, but he is wrong. And then what you are doing, you relive moment by moment, every single time, the same situation that you don't have what you want because you are separated.
Mhm.
And then she said, oh, wow, really? And I said, yes, you have to change the story. You have to change your mental diet, and you have to replace it with the opposite of what you are saying. Yes, I don't have him at this moment, but just close your eyes and tell yourself how wonderful that we reconcile our misunderstanding, how wonderful it is to be together again. Guys, I'm telling you, it took her only 1 week.
Yeah.
1 week. She was like spiraling on this situation for more than 6 months. By the time, she didn't want to get coaching in the beginning because she was aware that she's very very good intellectually knowing what she's doing. And then that's why I found coaching good, because an outsider sometimes sees your blocks or your patterns easier. It happened with me too. I got coaching too. I believe that's a really good help in life. But guys, I'm telling you, 1 week. It took her only 1 week, because when I told her that your inner conversation must match the desired outcome. If you are jumping here and there, you're gonna manifest always the lack.
Exactly. And not only your inner conversation, like and that's so great. By the way, I want to say congratulations to you and your client. That's amazing. It's not just your inner conversation, it's your outer conversation to everybody else out there as well. I was talking with someone who's into manifesting, and anyway, so they were telling me, they were like saying, well, you know what, like, oh my goodness, all these guys keep hitting on me. They don't hit on my friend, but they hit on me. They're constantly hitting on me. And so, you know, I see this person quite regularly. So like 2 weeks ago, they said that. Then, you know, the last week they were talking again, you know, the same conversation. Oh yeah, my friend never gets hit on, but I always do with this guy. And she's telling me these stories, different stories every time. And then finally, it was just like a couple days ago, she says, well, you know what? Yeah, again, you know what? This guy was like totally hitting on me, and my friend's like, oh, he's hitting on you. And she was like, yeah, it's hitting on me and not my friends. And then I said to the person, I said, you know why? I'm like, you're creating it. And then the person says to me, no, I never intended it. And I said, no, right now, by talking to me about it, you are intending it. It is an affirmation. When you relive something and tell someone an experience you had, you're actually recreating it. So think about that. How many times have we taken our baggage with us and been like, let me tell you about my bad day. Great. You're creating yourself another one.
Yes.
So,
yes.
you know, you're constantly intending, whether it's in here, out here, you create it in the listening of other people 100%. So I can guarantee it, next week we're going to have another story about how they were hit on.
But you see, this is what I'm telling my friends and my clients too. Many times in life you can be right, but what are you trying to do? To get your validation that you are right about the subject, or you want to manifest a totally opposite outcome? Because being right, it's not going to give you necessarily the outcome what you are desiring it. And the more you're going to talk with people, and in your mind, about the situation. You can get validated that yes, you are right, but you're going to be there alone, wondering why are you alone? But you are just manifesting and recreating the state of being alone because you want to be right. So your ego sometimes takes you.
Well, you know what? This is it. You know, I remember when I was in this intensive coaching program for everyone as you pushed out, they said to me, do you want to be right or in a relationship?
Exactly.
Like, pick one. Because guess what? If you say they disrespect you, then they do. It's totally true. You're right.
Exactly.
You're totally right. You're never wrong. You're always right. You know, so in manifesting, you do need to lay your ego aside. But let me caution you, it's not about being a doormat. You are not a doormat. Okay, so what we need to do, right? And I think I should do a whole entire video on this, and so should you, Andrea. We both should. Is, you know, it's like you got to put your ego aside and accept that you created it, but you still need to intend that the other person takes responsibility and they treat you with respect. Because you know, it's not a you problem. It's a your assumption about them problem is what it is, right? You know, and that's what it is at the end of the day. Put your ego aside, but don't be a doormat, right? I mean, you can be right and not have the relationship, and you're totally entitled to that. Go ahead. Why not? I've done that a few times. I'm good with it. You know, just because you made a mess of it doesn't mean you got to clean it up. If you created someone you just can't stand, you don't need to recreate them. You can walk away. But if you want that relationship, Andrea's 100% right. You got to put your ego aside, and you know, of course you're right. Of course they disrespected you. You've created it. It's true. I'll agree with you too. You know.
Yeah, and then for my client, it happened with her a couple of times that we talked about it in a session. She said, yeah, okay, and then 2 days later, we were back to square one, and I just had to remind her that. Don't blame yourself. It's like a pattern in your mind. You did do this for who knows how long. It's a belief in you. So you want to change that belief and this pattern to match with your desire. It's nothing wrong with falling back, but the thing is how long you're going to stay in that spiraling situation, because the faster you observe, the faster you take yourself out of it. It's yes, as soon as you understand really the mental diet and you start to implement it, because what binge watching thousands of videos and knowing the intellectual part is great, but as soon as you start to implement, miracles will happen.
Yeah, you know, so I intend each and every one of you guys that watch a video, you know, uses it as a cue and a reminder to get back on your mental diet. You know, I know I do that, right? So, you know, and that's all it is. When you notice the lack in your reality, it's a cue. Get on your mental diet. When you watch a video about law of assumption, about manifesting, that's your cue. Get on your mental diet, right? And, you know, the more you do it, the easier it's going to get. And once you figure out what thought you're having that's really blocking stuff, and it's really usually only one or two thoughts, you'll just break through the whole entire thing, you know? Like there was something I was manifesting recently, and it was just like, I'm not, and like, I found the thought and it was like, okay, you know what? Everything just started flowing through. Like you just say that one thing that just breaks the barrier, and you like basically enter the quantum field and tap into that pure potentiality. And then that's it. You know, I mean, I don't claim to know the science and how this works. I mean, you know, I know it's based in quantum physics or quantum mechanics. I don't know. I've heard so many things, but I do know that I'm a neuro-linguistic programming practitioner as well as a hypnotherapist and a life coach. And I do know the power of positive thinking, right? And, you know, whether science, you know, has proof of it or not, you know, at the end of the day, I mean, for centuries, humans have been saying the power of positive thinking. And that's really the basis of what we're saying here is, you know, don't entertain any negative thoughts. You know, your thoughts, you'll become what you're thinking, right?
Yes. For example, there is my son, he is 18 years old, and me as a life coach, and I'm trying to teach him, but this is like a human nature that we are somehow trained that the outside reality is telling us what it's our reality, and what it's everything is what it's outside of us, the 3D, that's the reality. And teaching him and make him understand that you have to go inward, and your inner world will tell you what it's going on, and you are creating your reality, and then everything is your desired creation is done. your manifestation comes alive from your mental diet. Once you have the desire, that's already done. You don't have to figure it out how you're going to do this, or how long it's going to take you, or what is the path, and figuring out all the way. Thank God you don't have to do this. You just have to go and leave it and feel it. How would you feel? Would you behave? How would you think? When we are manifesting an SP, I always told myself as well, if I would be the person, I already have my SP, would I be worried about the text message, or would I be worried if he calls me an hour later, or, all the things we can spiral on when we have that fear inside of us that we are not gonna get what we want, and my client, when she understands all this and she tried to practice more and more, guys, it happens in an instant. You don't have to believe that you have to wait such a long time.
No, I mean, the minute you think it's already basically, it's set to happen. I look at it set to happen. So why is there a time delay, right? Okay, for instance, I intended that, people bring me vegetables, and then, my mom brought me vegetable, like a head of cauliflower. Did that happen like the minute I thought it? No, but I mean, she probably thought, oh, I should get, her some cauliflower. You know what I mean? So things are happening as soon as you think them, they go in play. And so she probably had to wait. Then my mom went to the grocery store, saw the cauliflower, then picked it up for me, right? But it was always cued to happen, right? Just like, you manifest a brand new car. Do you believe it's going to fall out of the sky into your driveway? Good for you, then it will. But if you don't believe that, it's not going to, right? Yes. So, I mean, that's the thing. Like, for instance, I play a video game. And, one day I was like, oh man, I wish Andrew would play it. Then he can help me with like my daily challenges. And I left it. And then all of a sudden I come back one day and there he is. He's picked up the controller and he's like, how do I do this? And I'm like, let me show you. Like, it was like a week ago. I thought to myself, oh my God, maybe 2 weeks. I'm like, I remember the pineapple in Hawaii. It was so good. Oh my God, so sweet. Haven't tasted it since. And then all of a sudden it was like last few days ago, I was at the grocery store. First time ever they actually were doing like fruit samples. They never sample fruit, especially since COVID. I've never seen fruit sample, or vegetables, right, for that matter. Anyway, they said, I'll take a sample. I love pineapple, and it tasted just like Hawaii. And I was like, oh my God, so things will happen. Sometimes they just take one thought, but when you've got, resistance and then it doesn't happen. We question why it doesn't happen. We question if we're good enough. We start piling on all this other stuff,
Yes,
and it's like, it was just one thought to begin with. And then all of a sudden the mountains become a molehill. We're not good enough. He sucks. The whole world sucks. Nothing's happening. I'm going to go eat a whole bucket of pasta and be on my ego trip. Right. And meanwhile, it was just one thought that, oh, he didn't call you. Because it's true. Like, Andrew goes to work, and if he doesn't text me all day, I don't worry about it. I really don't. I'm like, and sometimes he texts me when he's leaving. Sometimes he doesn't. And if he doesn't text me, it doesn't, I'm like, whatever. And then he shows up. I'm like, oh, you didn't text me. Like, I know he's coming home. Like, I'm secure in that story. Right. So,
I am very familiar with your stories, and I was listening to it. And, your self-concept in love was quite steady. You never thought about yourself that you are not good enough. Me, I cannot tell the same thing about me. For some reason, I bring a belief with me, and I was thinking before that I always have to figure it out what happened. I don't want to figure it out why, but I know I used to bring a story with me that I am not good enough. I saw my patterns, I saw my beliefs. Even I was shocked that I am behaving like that. And when I change all that and I start to manifest, I'm talking many years ago. Yes, I am just smiling now that how could I be so silly thinking that one message, it's such a big deal, or if they didn't message me, I was all panicking and, my God, am I going to lose them? Oh my God, am I going to be alone? Oh my God. And I was like really surprised on myself, but yes, we can go on that pattern. It's human nature, but it's so amazing to learn about mental diet and manifesting, and it's it's fun. It's fun to manifest and see what the creation you can do.
Exactly. Well, for those of you who have made it this long in the video, we're going to wrap it up here. But if you would like to ask Andrea a question, I probably should have said this in the beginning of the video, just comment down below her video and we will send it to her as a video idea. So definitely check that out. Thank you so much. And I'm so happy.
Thank you, Amanda.
You're absolutely amazing. So, and guys, thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And I will see you in the next video.
Yeah, thank you, Amanda. Thank you, guys. Bye. Bye. Take care. Bye.